This is a brief video on how to make a brake for your longboard. I got this idea from similar YouTube videos and also from a product out there which is quite expensive called a pogo brake. Basically the idea is when you stand on this lever you have a pad or a piece of wood, a piece of rubber that goes along the road and slows you down. And the real tricky thing is just getting something which is nice and springy enough. So if you can find a material which is nice and springy enough. So I'm going to show you how I did it. The material, you can see the name there, Tehalite or Tehalit. It's basically a cover used for when you build networking into offices. So you would have a sort of a container, a U-shaped container, and then this is the lid for it. From the side, looks like that. Probably made of PVC or something like that. And I just had a piece of that, cut it in half. And so that's what's basically given me the spring effect for free, without having to have a spring. Making sure that the brake comes away from the road every time you release it. So I'm going to just take these 4 screws off. Obviously screwing it onto your board is the easiest thing in the world, so I won't go through that. Bit difficult to film and do this at the same time, but a little T-bar is one of the best tools you can invest in. So let's get those screws somewhere where we don't lose them, and then we can take the brake off. So as you can see, I've just screwed a block of wood on. There's 5 screws there. The holes were me just trying to find a place for the switch to actually come in. It's really just 5 short little screws. They go about halfway into the block. You don't want them to go much longer because then they're going to scrape along the road. Unless you don't mind messing up the road. Might look pretty cool at night, getting sparks coming out the back. So that's just a block of wood. And I'm probably going to replace that with rubber at some point. Probably rubber and wood. So a piece of wood with rubber screwed into it as well, car tire or something. I'm pretty sure the car tire is going to break better than the wood. Okay, so the next thing is obviously the switch. That's it really only needs to be a shaft which goes through your board. I made a little construction here from some old mountain bike brakes, which I hope we can get a good look at. If we get a bit more light. Maybe we can get a good look at that. So, these little things here, the only reason for this is just to give the shaft a longer channel to run in, and that's going to hopefully make it run a bit straighter. So you didn't really need this, you could have just drilled a hole in your board. The actual screw, or bolt should I say, it's actually from our trampoline, but really any bolt that you have that's got a rounded head. The bolts there, the nuts there are just to stop it falling out. And I left a little bit of the bolt coming through the top. That actually goes into the wooden block. So the wooden block has got a few holes. I was trying to get the right position there. But that's where the end of the bolt goes in. Just keeps it from moving it around sideways. Make sure that everything stays nice and neat. So as I say, the construction for the for here is really the only special thing that I did. It's just 2 of those things which hold cantilever brakes. So that's a cantilever brake, which you know from mountain biking, sort of old school. But if you've got any of those lying around, the construction's really simple. One of them comes through. Ooh, we're not getting a good focus here. One of them just comes through there. And the other one goes sideways through it to hold this bolt. So that's patent pending by me. Yeah, and there's a 50 euro longboard from a supermarket turned into a downhill machine. Now I'm going to have no fear to go down any slopes. Awesome.